Ecuador will be represented today by Jose Cabascano, Trade Commissioner for Ecuador. Since 2012, he has served as the Trade Commissioner of Ecuador in various offices of Pro-Ecuador in Madrid, in Chicago, and currently in Los Angeles. He has several master's degrees, and this is pretty impressive, everyone. He has a degree in international affairs and business administration and SME management, territorial planning, etc. So he really does know his stuff. He's collaborated with the IDB, among other agencies. So Jose, you're clearly an Ecuadorian treasure. Please take it away. We can't hear you, Jose. Maybe you want to unmute, or I wonder if it's an audio situation. Let's make sure that can you want to try and speak now?
Now, can you hear me, Jolene?
Yes, we can. Wonderful. All right.
Okay, sorry, I had some problems here, I think. Let me try to put my... can you see my presentation?
Yes, we can, and we can hear you perfectly.
Okay, sorry for that. Once again, thank you for having me here, Jolene, in the Latin San Francisco Coalition Week. Good morning, everyone. Yesterday, I had the opportunity to give you an overview of Ecuador and the 10 reasons why you should think in our country as an option if you're looking for a place to discover new culture, the scenic landscape, dense rainforests, and many other experiences. Today, in a few minutes, I'm going to tell you why Ecuador should be considered in your business strategy. With improved national security levels, education, infrastructure, and social development, Ecuador welcomes increasing numbers of foreign businesses to its shores. Ecuador is known by having the greatest biodiversity per square kilometers of the world. It is a dollarized country, what makes it one of the most stable economies of Latin America. Ecuador's skilled labor force is readily available at affordable costs. With the American dollar as its currency, foreign exchange logistics are made easier when entering Ecuadorian markets. Our capital, Quito, is located in the central northern part of Ecuador, close to the Pacific Ocean, making it a strategic location for local and international companies. Its sustainable economic growth in recent years is the result of sustainable government policies, which make it a perfect destination for foreign investment. In 2018, for example, the country's real GDP increased by 40%, reaching 71 billion US dollars.
Jose, I'm sorry to interrupt. I just want to make sure that you've selected the right screen. We're not able to see your presentation. So if you want to go ahead and click on there you go. I think now we'll be able to see it. Sorry.
You see my presentation now?
Yes, now we see it. Before we were seeing 4 different windows. All right.
Oh, sorry about it. Well, let me tell you. Let's go to this presentation. About strategy and competitive infrastructure. Oh, sorry, again. Having some problems here.
There you go, perfect. We can see your presentation now.
Okay. About strategic and competitive infrastructure, during the last decade, the government has invested in roads, ports, airport projects, investment that facilitates the transportation of goods and services in safe and timely manner. The government has been investing heavily in new projects. It has been improving in electricity, telecommunications, transportation. Let me tell you that a larger percentage of their GDP goes to infrastructure than any other country in the world. Communication and electrical service in Ecuador are very important for us. More of these services are subsidized, so they are cheaply available to the nation. In recent years, the standard of broadband has increased a lot. Digital nomads who rely on fast internet now choose to work in Ecuador. Looking ahead, 5G make Ecuador a very attractive place to run an online businesses. Ecuador has access to market of 1 billion consumers, thanks to the trade agreements that are in the force with important countries, and double tax services are subsidized exemption avoidance agreement. We have trade agreement with European Union, Andean Community, Mercosur, ALADI, Guatemala, Nicaragua, El Salvador, and lately EFTA, European Free Trade Association. And we have double taxation avoidance agreements signed with force with 20 countries. Ecuador has qualified human resources, and this is important for this sector, this industry. The Ecuadorian government is committed to a higher education. For this reason, it offers international scholarship in foreign universities of academic excellence. For example, from 2007 to 2018, approximately 20,000 scholarships have been granted in the following areas: technology, information, science, engineering, art, health, and others. We consider that our main asset is our people. Most of the incentives to attract investors are established in the Organic Code of Production, Trade and Investment, the Public-Private Partnership Law, and the Productive Promotion Law. Incentives of COPSI are classified by general incentives and investments in private asset sectors, which you can see on the screen. One of them, the development of software services, production and development of technological hardware, digital infrastructure, computer security, products and digital content, and online services. Let me tell you that professional accounting and other financial services are in hot demand in Ecuador. This is due in part to an ever-evolving financial regulatory system in the country. Ecuador financial technology industry continues to develop in the way of Latin America technological innovation. About tax incentives, there are general incentives, sectoral incentives, incentives for the press zone, and EDCS incentives. This last means special zones for economic development, which are delimited spaces on the nation's territory, identifying as a custom destination for new investment in transfer and technology disaggregation and innovation. Today, we don't have time to talk in details about this incentive, but you can contact us because we are the Institute for Export and Investment Promotion Pro Ecuador, which is the executor of promotion and assist to foreign investors during their investment process. We have 27 offices in 23 countries. And here in the US, we have offices in New York, Miami, and in California, and Los Angeles. I don't know if you have time, but finally, I would like to share a short video related with why invest in Ecuador. Jolene, tell me if you have time, or that will be my last.
I'm really sorry to say that you have 7 seconds left, and I need.
Okay. So that's it. That is Ecuador, a good place, and with a lot of opportunity for you. Thank you.
Hear the actual alarm now. What I can do is share your video with all the participants if you authorize that. So we would be happy to circulate the video for anyone who requests it. Thank you very much, Jose. I appreciate you joining us today. Up next, we have a very distinguished gentleman, Mr. Alejandro Pulido. It's our pleasure to welcome you from Mexico. He is the Deputy Director for Institutional Relations and Business Liaison to the Global Drive Strategy of the Undersecretariat for Multilateral Affairs and Human Rights. Oof, okay. He has been Coordinator of Strategic Alliances of the Civil Society Program of USAID Mexico, USAID. Formerly, he was the Vice President of Institutional Relations at Canacintra, which is Mexico's national chamber of the industry of transformation. He has also collaborated with companies like Philip Morris, Cemex, and others. And most importantly, and very specially, for the significant contributions of his career to social and business progress, he was proposed by the Humanist World Foundation and the Industrial Development Agency of the United Nations to receive the doctorate honoris causa in 2018. So this is Really a pleasure for us to have you this morning. Thank you for joining us, and please take it away, Mr. Pulido.
Good morning. Thanks to LatinSF for hosting this event and to Jolín Vallejo for the kind invitation. Global Drive is the agency within the Mexican Ministry of Foreign Affairs in charge of promoting foreign trade and attracting foreign direct investment to Mexico. We have given a new approach to this task in accordance with our way of conceiving multilateral affairs in Mexico. Traditionally, global economies compete to achieve their goals, attracting investment, developing technology, and boosting economic and trade activities. We perform these functions under a new scheme of collaboration to help us to create a key factor, trust, making one-to-one connections. We place joint work ahead in our relationships with other countries and with the industry based on three pillars: economic diplomacy, foreign investment, and internationalization. In addition, we designed 6 strategic sectors: mobility, aerospace, agro-industry, health sciences, infrastructure, and IT. Our strategy for investment attraction consists of 3 fundamental activities. First, a local link in each country. Our more than 140 embassies and consulates around the world are the first means of contact to foreign companies, governments, and investment funds. Second, a feasibility analysis. We work together with Bancomext, our Exim bank, to analyze public and private investment projects. And third, investment landing. We're working together with the Mexican Ministry of Economy, with the 32 local Ministry of Economic Development, and with all private sector. Related with nearshoring, today, US manufacturers face tariffs between 10 to 25% on imports from China that were free of tariffs a couple of years ago. Discussions with several of these companies reveal that their shrinking margins are creating concerns for their financial futures. Taking measures to move some of their manufacturing from China to North America is an initial step US companies are taking now. In this process, Mexico has become an excellent choice as it is nearshoring, a low-cost country, and has a record of over 50 years of US manufacturing operating in our country. With all facility located in Mexico, companies avoid concern about lengthy and expensive ocean shipments and problems such as lost containers and dock worker strikes. Furthermore, there is quick and immediate access to the North American markets of the United States and Canada. Now, the question is, why Mexico? The USMCA Free Trade Agreement gives access to any company to the most dynamic region around the world, North America. We are the door to Latin America countries through trade treaties like the Pacific Alliance, to Europe through Atlantic Ocean and our recently renewed treaty with the European Union and the treaty with European Free Trade Association. We recently launched the Comprehensive and Progressive Treaty of Trans-Pacific Partnership, CPTPP, and the Free Trade Agreement with Japan. The aforementioned agreements together represent about $12 billion in commercial exchanges, which translate approximately into 30.4% of the total value of world trade, 58% of the world's GDP, and commercial access to over 50 countries. In Mexico, we have regional productive chains in operation in sectors with high added value, such as automotive, electronics, and aerospace. Related with IT sector, We know that is one of the 6 strategic industries that we have targeted and high value industries with a great potential to keep on growing in Mexico. Mexico is ready for a post-COVID economic recovery and the strong trend towards digitization that has come along with it. We have all the essential components for IT investments and nearshoring. Mexico has rapidly grown into a global competitive market in the information technology industry and into a dynamic business hub. Many American and Canadian companies have already migrated toward Mexican software development specialists. Moreover, companies can save up to 70% in labor cost when nearshoring to Mexico. Mexico's talent pool is impressive. There are currently around 500,000 IT professionals with more than 120 universities and technical schools. Mexico is a world leader in computer sciences graduates and the world's 3rd largest exporter of IT services behind India and China. Mexico has one of the most comprehensive laws on fintech and a legal framework that protects intellectual and industrial property. I invite you to make our Global Drive agency your communication channel in Mexico. And remember that in Mexico, you will find geographical advantages in logistics and connectivity, link with all the world, talent, and our commitment to help you land. We are prepared to give the best of ourselves and receive the best of the world. Welcome to Mexico. Thank you very much.
That was excellent, Mr. Pulido. Thank you for taking time of your busy morning to join us. And I agree, Mexico is also one of the pioneers, and we will be hearing from Blanca Treviño in our industry panel shortly after these IT speed dating sessions. All right, up next, we've got Peru. Very, very excited to welcome Ernesto Cuadros Vargas, the CTO of the Ministry of Education. What's really exciting about Ernesto is that he has a trajectory that is very much focused on the academic background of engineers. He has a rich history in academics and in IT curriculum development. He was the Dean of Computer Science at UTEC, which is the MIT of Peru, for those of you that don't know UTEC. He is a tenured professor at the National University of San Agustin in Arequipa and holds a doctorate degree in information retrieval and artificial intelligence from the University of Sao Paulo. So clearly we're in for a special treat today. Ernesto, please take it away.
Hello, Jolene. Good morning for everyone. So I want to show you something different. I am a member of the steering committee of the ACM and IEEE computing curricula worldwide. So I would like to show some good points and bad points from several countries in this region. During the last 10 years, I was participating in the steering committee first of the computing curricula for computer science, worldwide, and I was the only Latin American member in that committee. And during the last 5 years, I was also participating in the curricular recommendations for all the computing programs, including computer science. But it includes all of them. Okay, so we detected some very common mistakes when you have, for example, American companies trying to come to Latin America or South American companies trying to work in the United States. So I will try to highlight these points, right? So, for example, I am sorry. Okay. Okay, so internationally, you have these computing programs, right? You know computer engineering, you know computer science, information systems, which are more oriented to develop software in oriented to organizations, right? Information technology to give you some technical support, software engineering, and here is a problem, and especially when you translate, to Spanish, I will explain you that. Data science, which is a new international recommendation, and cybersecurity. Okay, this is the international context, right? In this steering committee, I am participating until the end of 2020. We have people from China, from Japan, from India, from New Zealand, from the European Union and the United States, and I am also representing Latin America in this group. But when you go to Latin America, you find something like this. You have a lot of programs with these names. The direct translation is system engineering, or informatic engineering, or civil engineering in computing, or computing civil engineering, which is quite common in some countries in this region. And you also see software engineering. But the problem is that when you are looking for people, you are looking to hire people, you are looking to a place to put your company from the United States in Latin America, the translation of these terms means something really different. Okay, so for example, in English, when you say I am a software engineer, it means I create software. When you say I am engineering software, it means I am creating software, I am designing software, I am prepared to create software, right? But when you say in Spanish, when you say I am software engineer, literally in Spanish, yo soy un ingeniero de software, it just means I have a title with that name. It doesn't mean the same, because in English, software engineer is a job position for all the people who are able to create software. In Spanish, when you use the word engineer, it means my title contains that word. It doesn't mean I am able to create software. And in several cases, it means I am able to use software. I am prepared to use software, but I'm not able necessarily to create software. Okay, so this is a mistake. For example, if you listen someone in English say, we need thousands of software engineers, you can translate to Spanish as we need software engineers. In Spanish, it means something different, right? So it was a very important point we found between English and Spanish. So let's show you just an example, just one country. I'm not going to tell you which country, okay, but just to show you the problem. Okay, we call each head of the departments of computing in a given country in Latin America, and we ask them, which one was your reference to create your program? And this graph represents the problem, okay? So the name doesn't mean anything in this case, right? Because the content is not aligned to the international standards. So when you come to Latin America, you have to look for several variables, not only because of the name, okay? And this is a real problem, because the word engineer in several of our countries just mean I am a user, okay? So if you are looking for computer scientists, for example, you have to look for in a different way. For example, in the case of Peru, the strongest point in the whole country is in the south, is in Arequipa. For example, here you can see companies from Silicon Valley. You can see companies from Germany creating software there. And Google hires in Arequipa. In fact, if you compare the number of former students working for Google right now, who studied in Arequipa, they are more than the whole country together. Okay, this is a very, very good point, a very good number to consider, because only this area, this region, is bigger in computer science than the whole country together. Okay, so the same experience, I have the same pictures for other countries, but I'm not going to show you right now. Okay, but this is the main point I would like to highlight here. So you have computer science at the Catholic San Pablo Catholic University. This is the strongest one in the country. And you have the National University of St. Augustine. This is a state university, and this is a private university. They are both very good references to hire people. Okay, and if you want to establish here in Peru, this is the best place. The cost of life is lower here. Of course, the relation is 3:1 if you compare to Lima, 2.8 approximately. Okay, so this is the information I would like to share with you. Okay, and that's it. Thank you.
Ernesto, I'm blown away. This was so informative. I think I speak for the entire panel that we all benefited from this presentation. Clearly, I think Peru needs to be more on everyone's radar. Thank you again for joining us during your busy morning. All right, and last but not least, this always happens to Uruguay. Let's just alphabetical order. I'd like to welcome Carlos Acle. Carlos Acle has more than 20 years of experience in the IT industry and more than 10 years leading nearshore IT projects for US clients. He's the CEO and founder of OneTree. OneTree is a company that provides design and development services to US companies since 2009. He is also the VP of Global Markets for the Uruguayan IT Chamber, otherwise known as CUTI. So Carlos, I don't know if you're there. There you go. All right. I'm not seeing your video, but I'm seeing your presentation. So I'll just let you take it away. We'd love to see your face if possible, but if not, presentation also works.
Give me 1 minute. Can you hear me?
We can definitely hear you. There we go.
Okay.
Yes. All right. Always nice to have the face behind the name.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Jolene. Thanks to everyone for attending this event, and thanks for the organization for giving us the opportunity to showcase Uruguay. As Jolene mentioned, I represent CUTI, which is the Uruguayan Technology Chamber, with more than 30 years of existing. And we have in our chamber more than 90% of the IT industry companies as members. Going strictly to presenting Uruguay as a nearshore location, we want to highlight some facts that we believe are like our differentiators. Uruguay has a coordinated and accessible tech and ecosystem. You will see here how we combine the work of the private sector, tech parks, incubators, accelerators. The academy has a strong influence on every activity that we develop. We have government agencies like Uruguay 21, that it is the agency that help us to promote our industry outside Uruguay and help foreign companies to establish operations in Uruguay. We have a strong relationship with the government as an industry, with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. In the United States, for example, we have obviously our embassy in Washington, D.C., but we have several consulates in different cities like Miami, New York, Chicago, and San Francisco, where we have our technology consulate that has been established a couple of years ago. That has been like a great help and a great has been having a great influence in all the in attracting and showing our capabilities as a country. Talking a little bit more strictly of our capabilities that we believe that are differentiator with other countries. Basically, we rank #1 in ICT development in Latin America. We are a member of the Digital Nine or Digital Nations. It is a very important selected group of nations that are highly digitalized, and these have been very helpful for some of the stories that I will let you know a little bit later. We have world-class facilities and connectivity. We have outstanding tax benefits and government support since long before, and that has been very helpful for companies to establish here and for local companies to grow and to export services, especially to the United States. We have highly skilled and multilingual talent in different languages like Spanish, English, and Portuguese. So we can be very helpful if companies are thinking not only in Uruguay but also install operations in Uruguay to serve countries like Brazil. And we have long-term education policies, and we can show and talk a little bit about the Plan Ceibal, where it is an implementation of what we call the one laptop per child initiative, that since 15 years now, every student in the public school have a laptop. It is provided by the government, and every school in the country, no matter if it's in the city or in the rural area, has connectivity. So with this, we were being able to start influencing in a good way the students to be more near the technology. Also, they receive English classes, so we are looking forward to prepare young people to be closer to the technology in the future. Most of our members export services to different countries, more than 52 countries. We have nearly half of our sales are exports, and we have our very good penetration in sales in areas like fintech, logistics, retail and health. As you can see, and it is very important for this talk, United States is our main market. We have more than 60% of our exports are focused in that country, and we expect this to continue growing in the next couple of years. During the outbreak of COVID-19, I think this affect everyone in the world. Our response against this outbreak was fast and highly coordinated. We believe that the country used all the developed capacity that I mentioned like 3 slides ago, connectivity, digitalization, and create a strategy that combined aggressive testing, a tracing mobile app, and a non-mandatory quarantine. Also, our industry had like a great impact in this fight. We believe that we work like a key players developing the tracing mobile app that was released to the public like just a few days after the outbreak. And we integrated the Google and Apple exposure notification API technology for smartphones. And we were able to do this because of the conditions that I mentioned before. We were selected by these companies because of all of these conditions, because of the penetration of our mobile network and our adoption to technology, and also our digitalized infrastructure in terms of healthcare. Also, for the outbreak, we were able, our entire population was able to go and do remote work in customers. In case of technology customers in every country that we serve, we were able to provide a non-stop service, and that was a great success. So our customers didn't suffer any service interruption. Because of this, the exceptional connectivity and internet penetration, not only in the capital city Montevideo, but in every city outside Montevideo. Another concept that I want to highlight to close it is that we can think Uruguay not only as a near-shore provider, for different IT services, but also as a test bed country. In this case, we want to basically to promote us also where for companies, for innovative companies that want to develop innovations and try new technologies. We are like a small and orderly and transparent country, which with a very easy decision making process. Companies and talent has expertise in the state-of-the-art technologies like AI, IoT, 5G, and cybersecurity. So companies that would like to test and to install here to prove these new platforms and new technology, we believe that we can provide all this infrastructure in a very simple way, and and very straight, and that's a key differentiator. In the next month, the government will launch the Open Digital Lab, which will be like a campus with technology labs and advanced connectivity. For example, 5G, where local and foreign enterprise or corporations and startups can use this lab to develop technology, partnering with Uruguayan companies or hiring talent here in Uruguay. And for finishing, this is like the last slide I show. We have global companies that are based in Uruguay. In the next round of talks, we have Oracle NetSuite will show their experience in this process, but I want to highlight that we have global companies that had seen Uruguay as a place to start operations, to hire talent, and to provide services to the United States. Thank you very much. And we are afterwards we are open for any question, and also we have Ignacio Gonzalez that is part of the organization that can also answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you so much, Carlos. That was very informative. And I want to thank all of our panelists today for participating in this IT speed dating session. It was very quick, very informative, and I know that our audience is now walking away with a little bit of information of each country so that when they do explore their nearshoring alternatives, they know where to start. Of course, you can always come to us, LatinSF. Our entire coalition is here to serve you on this purpose, and we are also an SBDC center, which means we are allowed to provide free consulting to companies in Northern California, not just in the city of San Francisco, that want advice on how to scale or open up offshoring teams in Latin America. So without further ado, now I want to transfer over to our industry panel, and I'm going to start inviting up our panelists that are in the audience. We're going to be discussing real live anecdotes. We've got Diego Terra, who is from Uruguay as well, working at Oracle NetSuite. We've got Conrado Viña from Move It in Colombia. Blanca Treviño has also joined us from Softech CEO, and Cesar Donofrio from Argentina, Making Sense. And I'm looking for our panelist from Ecuador, Ernesto Kruger, and it looks like I found him. Let's see if we're here. So all of us, let's switch over now. Let's switch gears and start thinking about what it's like to really have offshore options in Latin America. I think I'd like to start, and Ernesto, I'm hoping that you can turn on your camera. We'd like to see everyone's face if possible. And I think, Carlos, you might still be sharing your screen. So if you want to go ahead and stop sharing so we can switch over to gallery view. Is that possible?
Done.
All right, there we go.
Sorry about that.
So no problem. So now we should have gallery view. You should be able to see all of our faces. And I just want to do a quick, intro to everyone. We also have a panelist from Chile. And hold on, let's see, Martin, I'm looking for you. Here we go. Where are you? From Nisum. Let's see. For whatever reason, I can't see you. Are you raising your hand? There you go. Thank you so much for raising your hand, making it easy for me. All right. Now I think we're complete. We've got Ernesto, we've got Cesar Donofrio representing Argentina, Making Sense, Javier Oile from Everest, Blanca Treviño, as I mentioned, CEO of Softech, Conrado from Move It, and Diego Terra. So welcome, everyone. Today, I really want to kick it off and just give our audience the opportunity to understand what it's like to do business in Latin America. Many of our stakeholders are wanting to explore the region, but have previously worked with India or previously worked with a different region and maybe a little shy to think about Latin America. So first of all, I'd like to kick it off with you, Blanca. I think that you are the pioneer on this panel. You are my proud female, making me look good. But aside from your gender, you really, truly are a professional, and you're sort of a trendsetter here with nearshoring. I know that back in 1997, when you started, you really just coined the team or the word nearshoring. So do you want to tell us what nearshoring was like then and how it has really evolved in Mexico now?
Thank you so much. And I like the word that you said, probably you didn't say the oldest, or I'm glad, because it was not related to my age. So yes, thanks again for the invitation and allowing me to share how it was like 20 years ago. It has been quite a journey, let me tell you that, because when we decided to explore opportunities in the US, India was by far the leader and probably the only one that was offering services to the US. And no one even considered that Latin America could be also a destination or a provider like it is today. So I remember those first years were I mean, challenging. I don't want to say horrible because we enjoy them, but it is incredible how it has evolved. During the first time, say 3 years, 4 years, we were the only company that from Latin America offering services. So it was not just selling soft tech services, it was really positioning Latin America, and at that time, Mexico, being very honest. At that time, even though today we have offices and delivery centers in most countries in Latin America, in India, in China, in Europe, at that time, the word nearshore for us is really positioning Mexico as an important provider, as an alternative to India, and probably sometimes a complement to India. That was the idea at that time. But what was difficult is that we didn't have the support that Indian vendors had, because if you might remember, probably, no, you're too young for that. You probably don't remember this. But Kirk, if Kirk is in the panel, I mean in the audience, he could agree with me. They had this power, the Indian vendors, with all the support from India, that they really positioned them as an alternative. In our case, it was a single company, at that time a small company, trying to convince the US market that this was possible. 20 years later, and I would say probably 5 years later, we were working with different governments from Latin America that wanted to follow what we were doing in Mexico. We, after probably 97 we started, but early 2000 we worked first with the Mexican government putting an initiative that is called ProSoft, so they could, in a certain way, say this is what Mexico is offering. Years later, it was Argentina and Chile, and we helped many different countries in doing this. What is important, Julian, and I want to emphasize this, that from the very beginning, what we said, this nearshore is not just convenient. Yes, it is convenient, but what is important is that we can be, and we are, very competitive. The process in which we were working with governments, supporting even other providers that decided to move to Mexico or from other countries, we always emphasize, please let me tell you how you should go and approach the market selling nearshore. It is convenient, there are geopolitical advantages, but it's because of if you leverage those things, we can be very, very competitive. Because proximity or similar time zone, and probably those early years, I would say that this was the misunderstanding. Other companies approaching US companies saying, oh, we are convenient, but they want to see the cost advantage. Today, let me say, I'm very proud to say that Indian vendors open offices in Mexico and in other countries. That is the best way of showing that this today, it's more about that complement and global sourcing. It's important for any client to have that kind of a strategy in which you can have offshore services, onshore services, and nearshore. Because today we're talking about Latin America, but we have pushing nearshore in Europe, from Spain to Europe. And we believe that is the model, that you need offshore, nearshore, and onshore. And I'm so proud to see that, and you heard that from the Mexican, that today when you think about nearshore, it's not just IT. That's how important it has become, and that today we are very proud to say, oh, we started this more than 20 years ago. And probably it was challenging, but it was worth it if we see all the companies that are involved, all the countries that are involved, and that it is no longer not just about IT. So very proud. It has been quite a journey, but today I can say it makes sense. It is working.
Thank you, Blanca. And yes, I agree. It is working. And I'd like to now talk to Martin about this. And I want to remind everyone on this panel, let's keep our answers, as concise as possible so that we can all enjoy this conversation. Martin, I know you're dealing with teams from Middle East and India, and you're in Chile. And as Francisco Mardones mentioned, Chile is not cheap in the ways that some other countries are in Latin America, but there are other really great differentiators, the stability and the talent. Can you share with us how Chilean talent differs from some of the other teams that you manage?
Well, thanks, Joy, and thank you very much for the invitation. And I really appreciate Blanca's introduction as well, because it's a story, maybe not 20 years, it's a story that I share. I've been doing this for over 10, 15 years now. So I completely agree. And I think it's interesting what has evolved when you're looking for these types of operations, right? So obviously talent is paramount, right? So as Blanca was saying, it's beyond convenience, and talent is paramount. But we have entered a stage where costs will always drive, but that you're looking so much more from your partners at the global level, right? So from a Chile perspective, I think, and I know Francisco mentioned this, probably one of our biggest assets we said here, beyond the talent, is the proximity in the business culture. And the fact that, in my experience at least, when we get some folks from the US to manage to visit down back in the age when we can travel on planes, it just feels like one more of the States, right? So it feels very familiar on the way that things work and how it works. But beyond that, what you're focusing right now is like, what can I get on my nearshore that goes beyond the talent, right? I know I need to have a global footprint on my talent, but I'm looking for that innovation, for that ability of my partners to bring something to the table that will take me to my next level, because today the competition is global, right? And we've moved from a stage where what we're looking is like, how can I do the same at a lower cost, to a stage where how can I do better at lower cost, right? And that combination of talent, of innovation, of people's ability to put a step forward and bring ideas to the table and bring that relationship to the next level, I feel is like where nearshoring is moving forward, right? And as Blanca was saying, we started about what are the competitive advantages of being close in our way of thinking, and but still be able to provide value into how can we complement, and what skills are we bringing to the table to bring those relationships forward. And I feel that when looking at the US market, what you found here in the teams here, which tend to be very global, I had 18 nationalities right now on my teams, all sitting in Santiago. And that sort of multiculturality and forward thinking and innovation is, I think, what brings that differentiation.
Thank you. Javier, I'd like to also ask you to chime in here. You're at Everest, one of the largest consulting and outsourcing companies with presence in 17 countries. What do you think about what Martin just shared?
Yes, well, definitely talent, as was mentioned, is an important factor. I would like to just mention a couple of other things regarding Peru. One of the advantages of Peru is that we've had a very stable economy over the past, I would say, 20 years. And also we have what we call a demographic bonus, because we have a huge, not only middle class, but we have a huge population between 18 and 25 years. And therefore, we've been able to develop, to train that population in technology, new technologies. And we've sort of made a leapfrog, a step into the new IT world. So now Peru has become an important player in terms of IT development that is definitely worth exploring. Currently, as you mentioned, Everest is a #1 company IT company in Peru. We have more than 3,600 employees, and also providing services to Europe and a few countries in Latin America, not so much the US. But definitely there's intellectual capital that is being developed over this past just a few years in new technologies. And, you know, the country is gaining huge capabilities.
So I think we're pretty much sold, right? We know that Latin America has a lot to offer. I'd like to switch it over to Diego, who's representing a large corporation in Uruguay, a little bit of a different perspective, right? Diego's at Oracle, now NetSuite, and you're working more on like the e-commerce division. What is it that, Oracle saw in Uruguay that decided, hey, let's open up shop here, let's expand from Uruguay? Oh, and dear Diego, I think I need you to unmute, please. It happens to all of us.
Yeah, thank you for the invitation. So there are three big moments in the history of, I'm going to be short, so it's, NetSuite lands in Uruguay via acquisition. They bought two companies. I was the founder of one of those. And so basically the reason was talent. But then when Oracle buys NetSuite, Oracle, I mean, it was a pivotal moment, right? But and there we were only doing development and e-commerce. But when Oracle buys NetSuite, they decide to expand and also bring support and added value support like customer success managers for the Latin American region and the world right now. So we're growing super fast, not only on the software development, but also on support and customer success managers. The main hub is Manila, but now they're, because of the time zone and I guess the tests went really well, we're growing super fast in that area too. So I think they see a lot of value also on the support side.
Is there a talent problem as you grow so fast?
Well, I mean, in software, it's difficult. I mean, not as difficult. I mean, it's much better every year. I mean, all the positions, we make it. In support, it's super easy, super fast. Oracle has a great brand in Uruguay and everybody wants to join it. So the pool of resources in support and success managers it's huge. And the English speaking, it's much better now. So, I mean, it's...
Yeah, I witnessed that for sure in my last trip in January. I'd like to now talk to Ernesto Kruger, who is representing Ecuador today and who, represents a country that I personally love, but I know is not on the radar for many people that are looking for nearshoring teams. Kruger Corp is a multinational company with, offices in 13 different countries. So what's behind the motivation and what is your, value proposition?
I am so glad to be here. I am very happy to share the panel with people so important like Blanca Trevino and John Hiley, the rest of panelists. Our purpose is transforming lives through innovation. We are a little company that enabled the fourth revolution industrial plus, which are the post-COVID revolution, in organization through the implementation of the new technologies, especially in blockchain. Data analytics, DevOps, Java development, open banking, fintech basis in blockchain or the EFA, and quality services. We seek of our clients is to perform agile digital transformation and thus transform lives. Special mention, we are using technology key blockchain. This is a framework that permit to support a solution, very fast solution to rapid development framework. We not do this help to development solution thinking about the new normality.
Definitely, with the new normal, we're all looking for offshore teams. So one thing that I should also say is that you're on the US dollar. It's very easy to your I'd like to now turn it over to Cesar. Cesar is the CEO of Making Sense. And one thing that I really appreciate about Making Sense that I mentioned this morning is that everyone that I meet there always has such great energy, such a great vibe. Whoever, let's see,
Yeah.
not help. There we go. Okay, perfect. It happens. Cesar, you know, I've known you for a while. I've seen many of the projects you've worked on, all very high quality. But I want to touch on something important that one of the panelists mentioned this morning, and it's really about, you know, talent overturn, right? Here in Silicon Valley, you have an engineer, 8 months later, they're somewhere else. They get a better offer. There's such scarcity in talent. How do you think nearshoring solves this problem? How does Making Sense solve this problem by potentially working with a company here in Northern California that needs stability in a team, that they're not going to just go away in 6 to 8 months?
Yes, so can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, yeah, excellent. Thanks. Thanks for the invitation, Charlene and San Francisco SF. So I think we have a unique approach, and that is why Making Sense different from the competition. So our differentiator is that we do software development with a user experience approach. So we are the right combination of engineers and UX developers and UX designers. So the right mix of technology and design, the right mix of the right and the left part of the brain. So, and that is what makes Making Sense unique, and that is possible and I feel in Latin America. And let me share my personal story, how we end up, where we are today. So back in the early 2000, I was a consultant. I was living in Texas, and I was working on a pre-sales team. We were doing at that time a lot of offshore development. So, and as part of the pre-sale team, what I am a software engineer. That is my background. So very on the technological side. So, and when we were working on the proposal, what I saw is that all the other developers, and I was the only person from Latin America on that team. And what I saw is that the other people, they were thinking only on the technology, and putting an excellent architecture diagram of the solution and, the requirements, but everything it was not emotional. It was not, that touch. So I challenged my manager and say, hey, can we add some screenshots? So can we add some wireframes? Or even can we do some prototypes? And when I started working on those proposals and adding that user experience, and user experience, it was not the term back in the early 2000s, but it was adding UI, it was adding wireframes and a screenshot. So I saw the faces of our clients or our potential clients in that point, and I say, well, I think that is something different here. And I found my passion about user experience and technology. So, and that is what we are doing today at Making Sense. We are that mix of user experience and engineering. And I think that is possible. Not all the countries can do that. And that is Latin America. We have that emotional side. And that is what we make Making Sense, Making Sense different. And, it's possible in Latin America.
This is true. We do put our good emotions to work.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cesar. Conrado, Colombia's been on the radar. Obviously, everyone's excited about the AI and machine learning that's coming out of Colombia. I'd like you to tell us a little bit about Move It. And before I get to you directly, I want to tell all the panelists, the next thing I want to do is have each and every one of you share in a sentence or more one project that you're really proud of and who that project was with. So I'll leave that with you to think about as Conrado starts telling us a little bit more about Colombia and Move It.
Thank you, Jolene. I'm more qualified to tell you about Move It than Colombia, to be honest. I'm raised in Uruguay. I'm Uruguayan, and that's where Move It is from. But we started to plan and execute a very
significant growth in Colombia, but I've been here for less than a year. I can tell you the reasons why we picked Colombia. So Move It is a software development consulting agency. We're 150 people. We work mostly for the US, and basically our key differentiators are very skilled talent and the handful of technologies that we specialize in. So for many years, we considered ourselves a software boutique, but that passion and that commitment to quality for our clients and the long-term relationships, opportunities that we've encountered, we've experienced significant growth. So for the past 5 years, we've been growing faster and faster. We can't call ourselves a boutique anymore at 150. And so the Uruguayan talent, I think it's pretty well known for our size, that we have a very high level of preparation, education, and also, like Diego said, our English level is really good. But we were hitting a roadblock in growing in Uruguay. It's a relatively small pool of talent, and there are companies like Carlos was showing us in his presentation. There are many companies that decided to open shop in Uruguay, so the competition for talent is getting pretty heated. So we needed to look for secondary to us, secondary markets where we could grow. Secondary meaning we were headquartered in Uruguay, so we had to go out. And we explored, basically the two markets we focused on were Argentina and Colombia. And pondering many factors, we eventually decided to preference Colombia over Argentina, mostly, and to summarize it, for political and economical reasons. There's more certainty doing business in Colombia. There's a very, very solid talent pool, really well prepared developers. There's one shortcoming with the Colombia market, if you will, or pool talent, and that is that they haven't addressed the importance of English as much as we consider they should overall as a country. But we're in a position where, first of all, we have the ability and opportunity to identify the individuals, the people that have taught themselves English to a higher level above average. And we can bridge the gap whenever the English level is not at the exact or sufficient level that some of our clients would prefer, by allocating them in larger teams where the communication can be channeled through other people in the team. But we're definitely actively trying to affect a little bit of change in education policies here in Colombia. Other than that, Colombia is an amazing country, beautiful country, and its talent pool is really very, very high. There's a very high level of education. So it's a pleasure to work and grow a team here.
Wonderful. Thank you, Conrado. I didn't know you were actually from Uruguay. All right, so here we go. We're going to go from Blanca all the way down back to Diego. One project you're proud of in 1 or 2 sentences or less. Blanca.
Proud of all of them, but let me emphasize probably the one, Southwest Airlines. And the reason why we're proud about that is we took all their application, we helped them deliver outstanding customer experience, which is important for Southwest. And the second reason is we help them navigate the most challenging times in their history. Today, we have a team of more than 300,000. I mean, no, 300 people, not 300,000. So Southwest, that would be Southwest.
Thank you, Blanca. Over to you, Cesar.
So for me, I think the project is about digital transformation and application modernization. The name of the company is changing, so but I don't want to spoil it. But it's one of the portfolio companies of a private equity, a very known private equity firm. The company today, they are doing dispositions. That is, the interview that you have before a trial. I say interview because it's very serious. So that interview before COVID, it was, in person. So right now, all those interviews, they are via Zoom or video calls. And it's one way that, I think digital transformation and application modernization, it will change our life and it will accelerate a lot in the next couple of years. So that's why I would like to highlight that project.
Absolutely. Courthouses, hospitals, so many institutions that are being forced to become digital these days. Martin,
Yep.
You're up next.
It's hard to choose. I will say that when we first started the Nearshore Development Center, we partnered with one of the largest retailers in the U.S. I'm also not going to spoil the name, but they were doing the full revamp of their POS system into the next generation POS. We participated in that project, which was a global project. We had to install a POS lab where we were able to simultaneously simulate the stores across the world as we were developing the software. And we were working literally across the sun because it was the Americas, Europe, and Asia, teams working simultaneously across. Very challenging project, but also I'll say most importantly, high business impact in its implementation. So it was really interesting. And it was also interesting because it was one of the first projects we engage in kind of the global part from Chile.
Excellent. Wow. Ernesto, one project you'd like to share?
The most important project for us is the expansion of Kruger Corporation, our company in Spanish-speaking region. We are looking at a smart venture partnership with some company, and we have many initiatives right now. For example, we are our digital recruiting subsidiary Remuti Inc. is respond to needs to the company provide tech profiling for big companies that require quick support, flexible to attend all kinds of projects. Another my favorite project is development in blockchain. I told you about the K blockchain framework, and we have also nearshore services of the branch of Colombia, Ecuador, and Bolivia, and we are built a store like a Apple store called Kruger as a service, it's KAS, that offers many solutions for support the people, startups and other companies in solutions of transformation digital for customer B2B to C. This is the most important project.
Thank you, Ernesto. And one of the startups that you are supporting will be pitching at our demo day tomorrow in the cybersecurity space. So thank you for that. Conrado, please share with us one of your fun projects.
I do need to lead with the same phrase as most of you. It's very hard to pick. I'm so proud of so many projects for different reasons. The one I'm thinking the most about is just, it's the biggest brand we work with, and it's also a very interesting story of how we got there. The long story short, something like 5 years ago, we started working for the MLB TV team. MLB is the Major League of Baseball in the United States. And they approached us, but that's the beginning of the story. They approached us, they found us on the internet, and they checked the references, they started working, they grew a team with us. But then they spun off. They were doing so well, they were selling the technology to other companies. They spun off, and they were called BAM Tech Media for a long time. They kept growing, and we kept growing as a small team for them, alongside all that trajectory. And then fast forward a couple of years ago, and gradually Disney bought them, and they turned that company and that technology into what is now called Disney Plus, which is being very successful, and I'm sure the majority of you have heard it, and if not signed up yet, probably consider it for the kids. So we're now working for Disney Plus in particular. We're a small but important part of their team, and we landed there through delivering quality across many stages of what was originally an engagement with a completely different company. So
thank you, Conrado. On behalf of my daughter, she thanks you. She's big Disney. Javier, share a project with us.
Well, we've done a very interesting project with the Inter-American Development Bank. It's based on blockchain, and it's basically digital identity. And the important thing about this project is it's the foundations of how to replicate digital identity in many institutions, and now it's being rolled out throughout Latin America, sponsored by the Inter-American Development Bank. So it's a very it's a new technology, as you know, and a very successful project.
Thank you, Javier. And last but not least, Diego.
Yeah, I think the one that had the major impact in the Uruguay office, we did the international rollout of Williams Sonoma, Pottery Barn, and West Elm in Canada, Australia, and the UK, and it was huge. I mean, big rollout, a lot of people working on that, successful, and they are still working with us, so that was huge.
Well, thank you, everyone. I want to say on behalf of my Latin American heritage, all of you make me so proud. Thank you for the work that you do. Thank you for providing innovation to our region and the technology transfer, and obviously creating jobs for our Latin Americans. We're running out of time, and as a closing, what I would like to do is choose carefully one word that you believe differentiates your company. And if you repeat a word, that's okay, but I think that'll be our closing bang for today. Let's start off with Blanca.
That'll be passion.
Cesar.
Creativity.
Conrado.
Team. Team, T-E-A-M.
Team. Beautiful. Martin.
Innovation.
Innovation. Ernesto.
All words before.
All of the above from before. Perfect. Diego.
Trust.
Trust. I like it. That's a good one. Javier.
Talent.
Talent. Beautiful. Thank you again, everyone. It's been such a pleasure to share the morning with you. I hope you have an excellent week. Thank you to everyone who stayed on. Amazing. I can't believe you're all still on, even though we're 10 minutes over. I want to address that there was a question in the Q&A. I will make sure to personally email you. The question is, if time allows, which we unfortunately don't have time, could the panel address independent contractor laws pertaining to U.S. companies hiring LATAM individuals for project work? This is something we do every day at the office. I promised Dickinson to email you personally. Thank you again, and have a wonderful week. Don't miss our demo day tomorrow, the closure of our LatinSF Coalition Week. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Gracias a todos. Un beso.
Gracias.